In this problem, we're asked to graph the image of the figure using the translation given, and we're taking this original pre-image, which is triangle RST, and we're going to be moving it 3 units left and 2 units down. So in the last example, I showed you how to take a pre-image and move it to its new location and call it our image using a point-by-point way of doing that. So what I'm going to do in this example is I'm going to show you something slightly different, and I'm going to show you how we can do it by moving it per segment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of the points on my triangle. So I'm going to pick point S, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that point to its new location. I'm going to rename it as S prime. So, and I'm going to move it according to my translation rule. So I'm going to move it 3 units to the left. So we go 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go 2 units down. So I'm going to go 1, 2. So this point right here on the y-axis is going to be my S prime. Okay, so it's going to be the new location for point S when we move it. Now, from here, what you should notice is that we have 2 other points. We have point R and we have point T. Now, we can move this per segment. So we can look at this and see that, well, if we were going from point S to point T, I would move 1 space to the left, and then I would move 3 spaces down. So if I go from S prime, 1 space to the left, and 3 spaces down, then I'm going to have a point there, and I'm going to label that point as T prime, okay, or the new location for T. Now, from here, I'm going to do the same thing. I can move either from point T to point R, or I can move from point S to point R. And so, or find out how much that movement is. So if you look at it from the original figure here, if I go from point S to point R, I actually go down 1 and 2 to the right. So if I go down 1 and 2 to the right, my new point is going to be right here. It's going to be R prime. And so now all I have to do is just go ahead and connect my points. So I'm going to connect the point T prime to S prime. I'm going to connect S prime to R prime. And then I'm going to connect T prime to R prime, like so. And so what's happened is we've taken our original pre-image, which was triangle RST, and we've moved it 3 units to the left and 2 units down. And now we've came up with this new image that we call triangle R prime, T prime, S prime. Now, this particular example and how I did it is kind of demonstrating that when you have a translation and you move a figure in the coordinate plane, its dimensions, its side dimensions, don't change. Okay, they stay exactly the same. The length from S to R is the same as the length from S prime to R prime. The distance from the other 2 sides on the original pre-image is going to be exactly the length, the same length as it is in the image whenever we translate it and move it in a coordinate plane. So this is another way of how you would do a translation if given a pre-image and asked to graph its image from a given translation rule.